Hi there. Jennifer Elizabeth Masters here. Visited by a hummingbird. Hello there. Hello. I'm wearing a red necklace and I guess he thought I was a hummingbird. My daughter and I had a secret pact during my son David's wedding weekend, and I'll tell you why. And I'm also going to tell you how wonderfully well it worked. I love my son. I love my daughter. I love all my kids. I love them all. But what I will say is, when we're with those people that are closest to us, we have a tendency to maybe be a little too helpful towards our children and others. And so my daughter had said to me, Mom, you need to watch what you do and say. And I said, well, actually, that's not how it started. The last time I was with my daughter, she was kind of critical of me. And I said, I would really appreciate it, instead of you criticizing me, that if you have something that you're trying to get me to steer away from, like, Mom, get out of the kitchen. Mom, don't interfere. Mom, don't say that to those people. Like, she's trying to get me to avoid conflict because, weddings bring up all kinds of emotions. We are all on sort of an edge. And so while everybody's edgy and emotional, and you want to be on your best behavior. So I asked my daughter Ariel, could you please, instead of saying, Mom, don't say this, Mom, get out of the kitchen, Mom, go over there, and instead of saying those things, could you say instead, and we'll have this pact, I love you, Mom. And so it began. We arrived on Friday. We were late an hour because we got lost. And so we started to help and assist wherever we could. And every single time that I started to go somewhere or do something that maybe wasn't where I was needed or wanted, my daughter Ariel would say, I love you, Mom. And towards the end of the weekend, what began to happen was I was hearing the I love you, Mom, but not as we had indicated it would be. So what I'm saying is, do we really need to criticize one another? Do we really? Do we really need to tell people what to do, what to say? Don't be so helpful. Do we really need to say those things? So what we did, I'm going to repeat it because it is so powerful. So we made this arrangement, my daughter and I, instead of her criticizing me, instead of her, beating me up with words, I said, could you please just say, and it will be our little pact. And when I hear it, I'll pay attention to what I'm about to do or what I'm about to say, and it will shift. It'll shift me, and I will, back off from wherever I am. So this is how it worked. When I was in a position of perhaps adding advice, or why don't you do it this way, or you could do that instead of this, I kept my mouth shut. And Ariel was saying to me, I love you, Mom, and I was feeling loved. So instead of somebody criticizing us, wouldn't it be wonderful if instead they said, I love you? What does it matter in the scheme of things if people do things the way we want them to do or if they do them their way? Does it really matter? Because in the long run, what really matters is that we are focusing on ourselves, that we are loving us, that we are kind to us, and the more kind we are to ourselves, the more kind and loving we will be to others. But if we're criticizing ourselves, if we are not accepting ourselves, we will be criticizing and critical of others. So this little pact worked beautifully, and by the end of the weekend, I had been told by my daughter countless times, I love you, Mom. I love you, Mom. I love you, Mom. And I heard the I love you, Mom, instead of, Mom, this I love you means don't do this. This I love you means don't say that. I stopped relating. I heard the I love you, Mom, and I moved. I went somewhere else. I did something else, but it didn't feel negative. It felt lovely. It felt loving. And, you know, the tension eased. Over the course, we spent 4 days together. Close proximity, high stress environment. And it was beautiful. So I guess the question that I have for you is, and I wrote a blog about this, you can Google it, Does It Really Need to Be Said? By Jennifer Elizabeth Masters. You can search for that article. Do we really need to say the things that we think we do? Do we really need to criticize one another? Or can't we just love each other as we are? Because what I will tell you is, it felt so much better to me. This time that I spent with my daughter was precious, and I felt completely loved and accepted by her. What a beautiful gift. So this little secret pact that we made up may start something new, maybe for you, because I'm going to start using it for my other children. I'm going to start using it with my clients. Encouragement. I love you. I love you. We all need to be more loving and accepting of one another. And what we find is when we're vibrating in a higher state, life becomes easier. It becomes more joyful, more pleasant, more pleasurable, and a heck of a lot more fun. So I'm sharing with you this secret pact that works so beautifully. I love you, Star. I love you, John. I love you. Now, doesn't that feel better then? Why don't you stop doing that? Why don't you not say that? It feels better. I know it does. I love you, Star. Hi, John. Okay, everybody. So the bottom line is, does it really need to be said? And can't we just tell each other we love one another instead of criticizing someone else? And then, you know, here's the other thing, is that when we are critical of others, we're critical of ourselves. So what I will say to you is, this can work for you too, as well. So instead of, I just got off the phone with a client who has a fabulous software business. He is doing fabulous, really well. But in the course of our conversation tonight, I'm coaching him on business and success. And he said, because he hasn't been sleeping, I said, what are you worried about? And he said, well, I should be further ahead than I am. And what I will say about that, should, it is a word we need not use. It is a word I feel should be stricken from our vocabulary. If you want to love yourself, you want to succeed and excel, don't use that word, because if you should, I should have done this, I shouldn't have eaten that, I should know better, you are beating yourself up. Life is way too short. And when we are beating ourselves up, we are not in joy. We're not in happiness. We're not in acceptance. We're not in grace. So instead of beating yourself up, I love you, Jennifer. I love you, Star. I love you, John. I love you, Martha. I love you, Sam. I love you, Lisa. I love you, Liza. I love you, Elisa. I have a lot of different names here. Susan, I love you. I love you, Victoria. I love you, Clark. I love you, David. I love you, Isabel. I love you, Heike. I love you, Cheney. I love you, Adam. I love you, Ariel. Does that not feel better? I know it does. So tell yourself that you love yourself and know that it's going to be okay. I'll do better tomorrow. Because when we should all over ourselves, it makes us feel bad. I should have known better. I should be further ahead. Maybe you just don't know all the things that you need to know to get to where you want to be. So hire a coach. And you know what? For the next 2 weeks, I'm focusing on free discovery sessions. So if you're interested in working with me, this is a really great opportunity because things are about to change for me very dramatically. So for the next 2 weeks, I am going to continue offering free discovery sessions. You get a whole hour with me. Book it on my website, jenniferelizabethmasters.com, and I will be your biggest cheerleader. So the other thing about me that you may not know is that I'm a channel. I am intuitive. So while I'm working with you, I get information that will help you. It's clear, it is precise, and it is exactly what you need at that moment. So this information is constantly flowing through me while I'm working with my clients. And there's a lot of things that I can help you with this channeled and accurate information. So I thank you so much for watching. I thank you for being with me this evening. And I love you. Thank you. Again, JenniferElizabethMasters.com. Book your free discovery session the next 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And then those are going to be going away. Much love to you all. Thanks again for watching.